Blessed be. Today is November 21st, and it is Odd Sock Day. Fashion faux pas holiday, talking about the history of socks, a little bit of awareness. A little site was talking about how socks originate from, like caveman times, using animal leathers and wrapping them around their feet. Kind of got me thinking about like caveman days and how stylish did they concern them, like how much value in the style did they have with those animal hide socks? I mean, while quality of course is an issue, but white rabbit versus brown rabbit versus gray rabbit socks, were they specific to more people at certain age groups? Or, how did they delineate style? Who knows? Today at work, I got caught up with my weekly review for last week. I ended up not really finishing it. On Friday, I started planning for this week, but I didn't actually do the review where I go through all my time blocking sheets and I write down all my accomplishments and review what got done, not done, blah, blah, blah. So I did that today. And I got some things done. I took my Labradoodle to the eye doctor. He'd been having some issues, so I wanted to make sure things were okay, and they're not bad. I got some eye drops for him, so hopefully he'll feel a little better. I also got his grooming scheduled for next month. Yep, he's a mess. I got enrolled in the new health insurance. I'm glad I did not procrastinate on that. I got that done immediately. Made it to my dance class. And I started the other class. I attended the first live call and participated in 2 of the practice labs. One of them facilitated by the course, and the other one was a peer-sponsored practice lab. And at the end of the peer practice lab, I reached out to the host and facilitator and offered to help. I was like, I'm experienced at running meetings, things like that, and I think that's a great way I can contribute to the, learning with my peers. Again, I'm a big fan of that. And, some great experience to take control and really provide to others how I process things. I took notes and was talking about, I created us a Google Doc, me and that facilitator. And I was like, this way we can share, life documents. And she's like, oh, that's great. Cool. So glad that turned out. I'm glad I spoke up. Not always the easiest thing to do. Let's see, what else? I did contact the wedding venue and a person associated for a day of planner for the wedding. Had a conversation, there'll be more chat later. So that just had that first level of contact, so I'm glad. And then I did in one of my other groups mention wanting to learn how to put together a Discord server. I use it for one group. I don't run it or facilitate anything on it, but I like the format. And with this other class that I'm taking, their group communication is on Telegram, which really is not a very pleasant way to read through a chat group with, I think there's 1,000 people on it. Like it's ridiculous. So if I could put together a Discord server and then see if people want to have conversations on there, I thought that might be a really cool idea and a nice way to contribute again to the peer learning experience. interesting experience that I had today that involved my weekly review was somebody had brought up, this gentleman, Ken, some like reflection questions he was going through. So I took what he had written and I threw it into my weekly review. So I've got the questions where what should have I got done? What should I do next week? And what should I stop doing? Ooh, which now that I look at this, I have not evaluated what I should stop doing. I'll do that next. So we don't know right now. But in regards to what I should have done last week, because I have 4 things that I wrote down that I totally didn't get done. Daggone title block update. Didn't do it on Friday. I did not arrange any wedding cake tastings or sample pickups. I got closer, picked some flavor filling combinations. My fiance needs to kind of do the same, and then we can take that next step. Another thing not done is setting up again, homework with the class, a place where I'm going to just brain dump some ideas. And in regards to that, what's going to be my whole file structure for it? Am I going to use a note app? Am I going to use the PDF for the class? Just a Word document for my own little notes of stuff? I'm not sure, but we're a week in. It's time to see what comes in, and I need to decide how I'm going to process it. The other thing that I really didn't get anywhere on was I'm trying to make a Word document that's editable, kind of like with content controls, like, here's the typed information, and then here's where you put your thoughts and ideas in your notes. And I want to, again, track that information. So using like tables and content controls, or do I need the content to control? Like, I'm so unsure of how to put together what I want. I really want to reach out to someone. Hang on, I know you're sliding off. To figure out how to best get the results I want with my Word document, because I don't know, and that's goes into being stuck with projects, and how my peer had talked about some questions about being stuck and what to do about it. We're all project-oriented people, and we often get started, and there's that messy middle, and then you see the next shiny object, and you start something else. So I wrote down, I developed my own little set of stuck questions for my weekly review, such as, where and what of these areas am I stuck in? And to be curious about it, not judgmental. Stuck happens. How do I physically identify the sensation for when I'm stuck and uncomfortable? Because we feel everything physically before we feel it emotionally. You can kind of catch it like in traffic. So I learned how to train into that. That moment where somebody cuts you off, it creates a jolt, a physical jolt in your body before you have the emotional response to get pissed off. So it's a really neat way to really check in with yourself. Why do I feel stuck? Can I identify why I can't get past where I'm at? What connection am I not making? Things like that. Interesting question here. How do I behave when I'm stuck? What do I actually do? Obviously I avoid. And I'd like to see kind of really asking this question, if I take this set of questions to these 4 points of things I didn't get done and run them across this, will that help trigger getting unstuck? Last question is what happens when I do get unstuck? Because some things do make it to the next phase. So maybe that's a piece that can help with like vivid visioning, where you imagine, this is a tip with manifestation. You imagine what it feels like to have achieved what you wanted. So yeah, I thought it was a really nice, it'll be a very in-depth review now with those stuck questions. So we'll see how well that goes. But I like that. And that's pretty much what I did for today. If you'd like to hear more entries into the Cat Witch's Grimoire, don't forget to hit subscribe. And until next time, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.